There's something powerful about what you allow to enter your spirit while you sleep. Your mind doesn't stop when you close your eyes. It's still working, still believing, still absorbing. And when you fill that space with prayer, with words of hope and faith, you wake up renewed, restored, and ready to fight another day. This isn't just a bedtime routine, it's a spiritual weapon, because while you're sleeping, battles are still being fought on your behalf. And prayer calls in reinforcements from heaven to fight for you. Tonight, as you rest, let this prayer speak life over you, your family, your dreams, and your future. Don't just listen with your ears, listen with your heart. Because the words you sleep on will be the life you wake up to. Your mind never sleeps, so fill it with faith. Your mind is one of the most powerful forces you have. And here's the thing. It doesn't turn off when you close your eyes. Even when your body is resting, your subconscious mind is wide awake, absorbing, processing, and building your thoughts into the reality you'll wake up to. That's why what you allow to enter your spirit before bed matters so much. If you go to sleep with fear, anger, and worry on your mind, you will wake up heavy, drained, and already defeated. But if you go to bed with faith, hope, and positive words flowing through your ears, your mind begins to work on those blessings even as you sleep. Think about this. Your subconscious is like fertile soil. Whatever seeds you plant right before you drift off are going to take root overnight. If you plant seeds of doubt, you'll reap a harvest of frustration. But if you plant seeds of faith, those seeds will grow into strength, courage, and opportunities. You can't afford to leave your mind unguarded while you sleep because negative thoughts are like weeds. They grow fast and they grow wild. When you sleep with prayer playing, you're guarding your mind. You're surrounding yourself with words of light, peace, and victory. Instead of allowing your subconscious to wander aimlessly through fear and old memories, you're giving it direction. You're saying, "Tonight, I will rest while my faith works on my future." There's a reason so many successful people have nighttime rituals. It's because they understand that the last thing you feed your mind before bed has the power to shape your tomorrow. If you fall asleep to the sound of chaos, you'll wake up in confusion. But if you fall asleep to the sound of prayer, you'll wake up in alignment. This isn't about superstition. It's about spiritual discipline. You can't expect to live a positive life if you're constantly feeding your spirit negative things. That includes what you listen to, what you watch, and what you speak over yourself before you close your eyes. Your mind is like a sponge, and sleep is when it soaks up the most. Fill it with scripture, affirmations, and powerful prayers. Don't give fear or doubt a chance to creep in. Replace every negative thought with words of faith. Replace every worry with a declaration of victory. You may not see it happening, but while you sleep, those words are sinking deep into your subconscious. And when you wake up, you'll feel lighter, you'll feel stronger. You'll have a renewed sense of purpose because your spirit has been fed throughout the night. If you've ever woken up in a bad mood for no reason, it's because your mind was left unprotected while you slept. But the moment you start surrounding yourself with faith-filled words, you'll notice a shift. The heaviness will lift, the anxiety will quiet down, and you'll begin to experience true rest. Not just for your body, but for your soul. Faith isn't just something you practice when you're awake. It's a way of life. And when you allow faith to flow into your mind as you sleep, you're setting yourself up for breakthroughs you couldn't imagine. Stop letting the world program your mind at night. Stop falling asleep to toxic shows, stressful news, or endless scrolling. You deserve peace. You deserve to wake up refreshed and ready to walk into your destiny. But that only happens when you take control of what you feed your subconscious. Tonight, make a choice. Play that prayer while you sleep. Let those words of truth echo in your spirit. Let them water the seeds of faith inside of you. Because when your mind never sleeps, you have two choices. Let fear work against you, or let faith work for you. Prayer changes your atmosphere. Prayer isn't just words spoken into the air, it's a powerful force that transforms the atmosphere around you. When you pray, you're not just asking for help, you're inviting divine power into your space. You're shifting the energy of your environment. That's why when you play prayer while you sleep, you're literally changing the atmosphere of your home. Have you ever walked into a room and instantly felt tension? That's because atmospheres carry energy. Some spaces feel heavy because they're filled with unspoken anger, worry, or negativity. But prayer sweeps all that out. It cleans the air around you the same way a fresh breeze clears out a stuffy room. When you allow prayer to fill your bedroom at night, you're not just helping yourself. You're creating a safe space for your family too. Children sleep better. Relationships feel calmer, and even your dreams become more peaceful because the very air is filled with faith and light. Prayer drives out chaos. It doesn't mean you won't face challenges, but it does mean you'll have clarity and peace in the middle of them. Instead of lying awake worried about bills, relationships, or your future, you'll rest knowing that you've already placed those burdens in God's hands. Sometimes we underestimate how much the environment impacts us. We think stress is just in our minds, but a lot of it comes from what surrounds us. If you keep filling your space with negativity, loud arguments, sad music, dark shows, you'll feel it in your spirit. But when you replace that with prayer, it's like opening the windows of your soul and letting light pour in. Prayer is powerful because it changes what we cannot see. Even while you sleep, those words are working. They're pushing back darkness, breaking chains, and calling blessings into your life. That's why some people wake up feeling lighter after a night of prayer playing in the background. It's because the atmosphere has been cleansed. Don't underestimate how important this is. Your environment can either feed your growth or suffocate it. If you want to step into your purpose, start by changing the atmosphere you live in, and prayer is the key to doing that. When you sleep in a space filled with prayer, you're not just resting. You're being protected. Angels are working on your behalf. Peace is surrounding you like a blanket. It's a level of security no lock on a door can give you. Some people fight battles every day without realizing that half the fight could be won by simply inviting peace into their home. You don't have to live with chaos. You don't have to wake up tense and drained. You can create a sanctuary right where you are through prayer. Fill your nights with prayer and watch what happens. The heaviness will leave. Relationships will heal. Opportunities will start showing up because the atmosphere will align with your blessings. Even your sleep will feel different. Instead of tossing and turning, you'll rest deeply because your soul will know it's safe. That's what happens when prayer changes the atmosphere. It doesn't just bring peace, it brings transformation. The same way negativity spreads, so does faith. One prayer whispered over your home can ripple out and touch everything in it. So don't just play prayer for yourself. Let it cover everyone under your roof. Night after night, prayer will create a shield around you. And soon, you won't just see the change. You'll feel it. You'll wake up stronger, calmer, and ready to face the world because you'll know the atmosphere has already been set in your favor. God works while you rest. There's a deep peace that comes when you truly understand that while you are resting, God is still working. You don't have to stay awake all night worrying about how things are going to work out. The same God who created the universe doesn't need you to lose sleep trying to solve every problem. When you lay your head on that pillow, you can let go of the stress and let Him take over. Some of the greatest miracles in life happen while you are asleep. You go to bed with a heavy heart, and while you are resting, God is arranging situations, aligning people, and opening doors you didn't even know existed. By the time you wake up, you'll find that the problem you thought was impossible has been completely turned around. We live in a world that glorifies hustle. People will tell you that you need to grind every second, stay up late, and never stop moving. But there's a different kind of strength that comes from trusting God enough to rest. It's a declaration of faith that says, I don't have to do this alone. While I sleep, heaven is handling my business. When you play prayer as you sleep, you are creating a bridge between your rest and His work. You are reminding yourself that you don't need to control everything. You're surrendering every worry, every fear, and every deadline to a God who sees further than you ever could. Sometimes, your greatest act of faith is simply to rest. It takes courage to stop fighting, stop worrying, and stop trying to figure it all out. It takes strength to believe that things are happening even when you can't see them. Have you ever had a moment where you woke up with a sudden idea, a solution, or a sense of peace that you didn't have the night before? That's proof that God works in the silence. While you were sleeping, He was whispering answers into your spirit and placing ideas in your heart. Rest is not just about recharging your body, it's about renewing your spirit. When you sleep with prayer filling your room, you're creating an environment where miracles can take place. You're giving God space to move without interference from your worries or fears. The enemy loves to attack people with anxiety during the night. He knows that when you're tired and vulnerable, it's easier to plant seeds of doubt and fear. But when prayer is playing as you sleep, those attacks lose their power. God's word becomes a shield, and His presence becomes a fortress around you. The problems that seem overwhelming today may be completely resolved by tomorrow morning, not because of what you did, but because of what God did while you rested. That's why it's so important to release control before you go to bed. Don't take your problems to bed with you, take your prayers instead. When you trust God enough to rest, you're saying, I believe you're handling this better than I ever could. That's faith in action. And faith moves mountains even while you're asleep. You can wake up tomorrow with new strength, not because your circumstances suddenly changed, but because your heart will be lighter. You'll know deep down that someone greater than you was working through the night on your behalf. Never underestimate what can happen overnight. The same way darkness turns to light with the sunrise, your situation can shift while you're resting. What seems like a dead end tonight could be the start of a breakthrough by morning. Each night, as you play that prayer, remind yourself, I'm resting, but heaven is still working. That mindset will bring peace that no amount of worry ever could. And when you wake up, you'll find that God has been busy building blessings while you've been resting in His care. Protect your dreams from negative energy. Your dreams are fragile. They are the seeds of your future, and like any seed, they need protection. If you're not careful, negativity will creep in like weeds and choke the life out of what you're trying to grow. That's why nighttime is so important. Because while you sleep, your mind is wide open, and it's either being filled with faith or poisoned with doubt. If you fall asleep after watching chaos, listening to gossip, or replaying painful conversations in your head, you're inviting negative energy to take root in your subconscious. By morning, you'll wake up feeling drained, unmotivated, and unsure of yourself. That's not because your dream is wrong. It's because you've allowed negativity to contaminate it while you slept. But here's the good news. Prayer is like a shield. When you play prayer as you sleep, it guards your dreams from those invisible attacks. It's like surrounding your mind with a protective fence that keeps out fear, jealousy, and doubt. The enemy doesn't just attack you while you're awake. He comes for you when you're most vulnerable, when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you're alone with your thoughts. That's why so many people wake up feeling defeated before the day even begins. They've been fighting silent battles all night without realizing it. When you make prayer part of your nighttime routine, you're no longer fighting alone. Those words of faith create a barrier around you, and every negative thing that tries to get in has to go through the power of God first. Your dreams are too valuable to be left unguarded. Think about it. You wouldn't leave the doors to your home wide open at night. You lock them to protect what's inside. Your mind works the same way. Prayer is the lock that keeps out unwanted intruders while you sleep. There are people who may not believe in your dream. They might speak words of discouragement or doubt over you. If you're not careful, those words can settle in your spirit and take root. But when you sleep with prayer playing, those negative voices are drowned out by words of truth and power. Sometimes the biggest threat to your dreams isn't external, it's internal. It's your own self-doubt, your own fear, your own insecurities whispering that you're not good enough. Prayer confronts those lies. It replaces them with declarations of purpose and strength, even while you sleep. Protecting your dream is about more than just avoiding negativity. It's about actively filling yourself with positivity. It's about surrounding your spirit with so much faith that doubt doesn't even have a chance to take hold. Every time you play prayer at night, you're taking a stand. You're saying, "My dream is worth fighting for. My future is worth protecting." That's a powerful declaration, even if you don't say it out loud. When you consistently guard your mind this way, you'll notice a shift. You'll wake up with more clarity, more focus, and more determination. The things that used to discourage you will no longer have the same power over you. Your dreams were given to you for a reason. They are part of your destiny. Don't let negativity steal them before they even have a chance to grow. As you sleep tonight, let prayer be your shield. Let it stand guard over your thoughts, your hopes, and your future. Because when you wake up in a protected space, you'll be ready to take bold steps toward the life you were created to live. Healing happens in your sleep is more than just rest for your body. It's one of the most powerful times for healing, restoration, and renewal. When you close your eyes and drift off, something supernatural begins to happen. Your body starts repairing itself, your mind begins to reset, and your spirit has a chance to be refreshed. But when you add prayer to that process, the healing becomes deeper. It's no longer just physical. It becomes spiritual and emotional too. There are wounds you carry that no doctor can see. Scars that don't show up on your skin, but are heavy on your heart. Pain from betrayal, heartbreak, loss, and disappointment. Those wounds follow you throughout the day, and sometimes you're so busy pushing through that you don't even realize how deeply they've affected you. Sleep gives those wounds a chance to surface and be healed. But here's the challenge. If you go to sleep with those wounds unprotected, you risk reliving the pain through nightmares, anxiety, and restlessness. That's why prayer is so important. When you play prayer while you sleep, you're inviting God to do the kind of healing that goes beyond what you can see. You're giving Him access to the hidden parts of your heart that need His touch. There are some things you've been carrying for years that you couldn't fix on your own. No amount of talking or trying has been able to erase the pain. But while you sleep, prayer begins to work like medicine for your soul. The words of faith wash over you, breaking off bitterness, fear, and hurt. Healing isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet and unseen, like a wound closing up beneath a bandage. You may not even realize it's happening until you wake up one day and notice that you feel lighter, freer, and more at peace. That's the power of healing that happens in your sleep. When you rest with prayer surrounding you, your body finds balance, your stress levels drop, your heartbeat slows, even your breathing becomes calmer. That physical peace creates space for emotional and spiritual healing to take place. It's like your entire being is working together to restore you. Some people never heal because they never give themselves permission to rest. They keep pushing through their pain, trying to stay busy so they don't have to feel it. But the truth is, healing requires stillness. You can't mend what's broken while you're constantly moving. Prayer creates that stillness. It quiets the noise of the world, so you can finally hear the gentle whisper of God's voice telling you that you are loved, valued, and whole. It's in that quiet space that true healing begins. There are nights when you'll cry yourself to sleep, thinking you're alone. But while those tears fall, prayer acts as a comforter. It catches every tear and turns it into strength. When you wake up, you won't just be healed. You'll be stronger than you were before. Your past doesn't have to define you. The pain you've experienced doesn't have to shape your future. When you allow healing to happen in your sleep, you're breaking free from the chains of yesterday and stepping into the possibilities of tomorrow. Healing isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about renewing what's been lost. It's about finding joy again, hope again, and faith again. Nighttime prayer sets the stage for that renewal. It clears away the weight of the day and prepares your spirit for a fresh start. Some of the greatest breakthroughs happen in silence, when you're resting and completely surrendered. You don't have to do anything except trust the process. Let the words of prayer wash over you like a blanket, covering every wound, every scar, and every fear. When you wake up after a night of true healing, you'll feel different. You'll notice that the anger doesn't burn as strongly, the sadness doesn't feel as heavy, and the fear no longer has control over you. That's how you know the healing worked. Every night you have a choice to carry your pain into another day or to lay it down and allow healing to take place while you sleep. Choose healing. Choose peace. Choose to let prayer be the medicine your soul has been waiting for. Speak life into your tomorrow. The words you speak over your life have power. They can either build you up or tear you down, open doors or close them, bless your future or block it. That's why what you say before you go to sleep matters more than you realize. Nighttime is a sacred moment when your spirit is preparing for a new day, and your words are like seeds being planted in the soil of your tomorrow. Too many people go to bed speaking defeat over themselves. They replay their mistakes, criticize themselves, and dwell on everything that went wrong during the day. Then they wonder why they wake up feeling drained and hopeless. It's because the last thing they fed their spirit was negativity. But when you speak life before you sleep, you change the entire atmosphere of your night and your morning. You begin to declare blessings, success, and peace into existence. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you start saying, "I am equipped for what's coming." Instead of saying, "Tomorrow will be hard," you say, "Tomorrow will bring opportunities and favor." Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's spoken. It simply takes what you feed it and works to make it a reality. That's why affirmations and prayer are so powerful. They train your mind to expect victory instead of defeat. When you play prayer while you sleep, you're filling your night with declarations of life. Even while you're resting, those words are working on your behalf. They are aligning your thoughts, your actions, and your circumstances with the future you desire. Think of your words like a blueprint. Before any building can rise, someone has to design it on paper. In the same way, your words design the life you will live. If you keep speaking negativity, you're designing a future of struggle. But if you speak life, you're building a future of hope and prosperity. This isn't about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about acknowledging that your words have the power to shape how you experience those challenges. You can either speak defeat or speak determination. You can either feed fear or feed faith. Every night before you close your eyes, take a moment to speak life over yourself. Say, "I am at peace. I am protected. I am ready for what's ahead." Speak over your family, your dreams, and even your challenges. Declare that they will work together for your good. When you make this a habit, you'll notice that you wake up differently. Instead of dreading the day, you'll feel a quiet confidence. You'll approach your tasks with energy and clarity because your spirit has been prepared for success overnight. Negative words are like poison, but positive words are like medicine. Choose your medicine carefully. Fill your nights with words that heal, empower, and uplift. Some of the most powerful moments of transformation happen when you shift your language. You don't have to wait for someone else to encourage you. You can be your own source of motivation by speaking truth and life into your situation. Even when you don't see immediate results, keep speaking. The same way seeds take time to grow, your words will eventually produce fruit. Stay consistent, stay faithful, and watch how your life begins to align with the words you've been declaring. Remember, your tomorrow begins tonight. The way you speak before you sleep determines the way you'll rise in the morning. So speak victory, speak abundance, speak peace. And let prayer be the soundtrack that carries those words into your dreams. Faith-filled nights lead to powerful mornings. The way you end your day determines the way you start your next one. If you go to bed full of worry, stress, and doubt, you'll wake up with the same heaviness, and it will follow you into your morning. But if you end your night with faith, prayer, and peace, you set yourself up to rise with strength, focus, and clarity. Faith-filled nights are the secret ingredient to powerful mornings. Every morning, you face new challenges, decisions, and opportunities. How you handle them depends on the state of your heart and mind. If your spirit is unsettled, you'll make choices out of fear. But if your spirit is centered, you'll move through your day with confidence and grace. That balance begins the night before. When you play prayer as you sleep, you're surrounding yourself with faith that works while you rest. Even in your dreams, those words of hope and truth are soaking into your subconscious, building you up for the day ahead. It's like spiritual training that happens while you're completely still. Imagine waking up with a mind that's already calm and focused. Instead of immediately feeling overwhelmed by your to-do list, you rise with peace. Instead of being reactive to every problem, you're proactive and prepared. That doesn't happen by accident. It happens because you sowed seeds of faith the night before. Too many people wake up rushed and frustrated because they ended their night in chaos. They stayed up late worrying, scrolling endlessly, or feeding their mind with negativity. Then they expect to wake up ready to conquer the day. But you can't expect a harvest of peace when you've been planting seeds of confusion. Faith-filled nights are intentional. It's about making a choice to protect your peace before you sleep. That might mean turning off your phone earlier, refusing to dwell on stressful conversations, or taking a moment to pray and release the day's burdens. Prayer is powerful because it transforms your perspective. It reminds you that even if the day didn't go as planned, tomorrow is a fresh start. It realigns your thoughts with hope and resets your heart with gratitude. That shift creates momentum for the morning. Think of it like charging your phone overnight. You wouldn't go to bed without plugging it in, knowing you'd need a full battery in the morning. Your spirit is the same way. Prayer is your charger. If you don't connect to it, you'll wake up spiritually drained and unprepared for what's ahead. When you sleep surrounded by prayer, you're allowing faith to flow into every part of your being. You may not see it, but it's working. By the time you wake up, you're not just physically rested, you're spiritually energized. That's why some mornings you'll wake up with unexpected clarity or fresh ideas. It's because your faith was working behind the scenes all night. Faith-filled nights also help you handle setbacks differently. When challenges come, you won't be easily shaken because you've been rooted in prayer. Instead of panicking, you'll pause. Instead of giving up, you'll push through. A powerful morning isn't about rushing or multitasking. It's about moving with purpose and peace. When you've been grounded in faith overnight, you'll notice that even small tasks feel easier and big decisions feel clearer. The world moves fast, and it's easy to feel like you're constantly behind. But when you end your day in faith, you wake up ahead. You wake up already aligned, already focused, already prepared to step into what's waiting for you. Don't underestimate the power of a quiet night filled with prayer. It may feel small, but over time, it completely transforms your life. Those consistent nights of faith will build a foundation that no storm can shake. Start tonight. Let prayer be the last thing you hear before you close your eyes. Trust that as you rest, faith is building your tomorrow. Then, when you rise, you'll step into your morning with strength, confidence, and unstoppable power. Never underestimate the power of night prayer. Night prayer is one of the most powerful spiritual practices you can have, yet it's one of the most overlooked. So many people pray in the morning, and that's good. But there's something uniquely powerful about the prayers you release before you sleep. These are the prayers that cover you while you rest, fight battles you can't see, and set the stage for the blessings of tomorrow. Night prayer is different because it's about surrender. At night, you're laying down your guard, your control, and your worries. You're saying, "God, I can't carry this anymore. While I sleep, I trust you to handle it." That kind of faith moves mountains because it's rooted in complete trust. When you go to sleep without prayer, you leave your mind and spirit exposed. The enemy loves to attack when you're tired and vulnerable. That's why people sometimes wake up with anxiety, fear, or even strange dreams. But when you pray before and during your sleep, you're surrounding yourself with spiritual protection. Prayer isn't just words, it's a weapon. It fights for you in ways you can't fight for yourself. When you play prayer through the night, those words act as a shield over your home, your family, and your future. Even while you're unaware, battles are being won on your behalf. Sometimes the breakthroughs you've been waiting for are released during the night. You might not see it immediately, but the seeds are planted while you rest. That's why you can go to bed feeling heavy and wake up with peace you can't explain. It's the result of prayers that worked while you slept. Night prayer also has a way of clearing your mind. It washes away the stress and negativity of the day, leaving you with clarity. When you go to bed with a clear spirit, you sleep deeper and wake up refreshed. Some of the greatest spiritual victories in history happened at night. In moments of darkness, people cried out to God, and He moved in ways that changed everything. Your nighttime prayers carry that same power. The enemy wants you to believe that your prayers don't matter, especially when you're tired. He wants you to think that it's okay to skip prayer because it's just one night. But every night matters. Every prayer matters. Consistency is where the true power lies. When you make night prayer a habit, you'll begin to see patterns shift. The same problems that used to overwhelm you will lose their grip. The same fears that used to control you will fade. That's the power of covering your life in prayer before bed. Even your relationships can change through night prayer. When you pray for your loved ones before you sleep, you're sending blessings their way. You're asking for protection, guidance, and favor over their lives, even when they're not aware of it. Night prayer also prepares you to hear from God. In the quiet stillness of sleep, your spirit becomes more receptive to His voice. You might wake up with sudden insight or an idea that brings breakthrough. That's not coincidence. That's divine guidance birthed in the silence of the night. Never underestimate how one simple prayer can alter the course of your life. It might seem small, but it's like a spark that ignites a chain reaction of blessings. Every night is a new opportunity to reset, to release, and to reconnect with God. Don't let a single day pass without covering yourself in prayer before you sleep. When you lay down tonight, remember this. Your prayers are powerful, your faith is strong, and the night is not a time of fear, it's a time of preparation. While you rest, heaven is working, and every word you've spoken will return to you multiplied. Keep this prayer playing while you sleep as you close your eyes tonight. Remember this. Sleep is not just the end of a long day, it's the beginning of a new one. The night is not a time of weakness, it's a time of preparation. While the world rests, battles are still being fought, doors are being unlocked, and blessings are being arranged. Every moment you spend sleeping with prayer playing is a moment of alignment. You are inviting peace into your home, strength into your spirit, and purpose into your future. You're telling the darkness that it has no power over you because your life is surrounded by faith. Your mind never stops working, and what you feed it matters. Fill it with words that uplift, heal, and empower. Let prayer be the last thing your ears hear and your spirit feels before you drift off. When you do that, you won't just wake up rested. You'll wake up transformed. Night prayer changes more than just your atmosphere. It changes you. It heals wounds that no one can see. It silences voices of fear and doubt. It strengthens you for challenges you haven't even faced yet. And it reminds you that you are never alone, even in the quiet darkness of the night. Some of the greatest breakthroughs in your life will not come from endless effort or sleepless worry. They will come from faith. Faith that works while you rest. Faith that moves mountains in the stillness of midnight. Faith that says, even though I can't see it, I believe it's happening. So tonight, as you prepare to sleep, release every burden you've been carrying. Lay it all down, the pain, the stress, the uncertainty. Give it to God and let Him work. Trust that while you close your eyes, heaven is wide awake. When you wake in the morning, rise knowing that something shifted while you were resting. The chains you couldn't break on your own have been broken. The answers you were desperate for are on their way. The strength you need to face the day has been renewed. Never underestimate the power of a night filled with prayer. It is not wasted time. It is invested time. The seeds you plant in the dark will bloom in the light of day. Tonight, let your final words be words of faith. Let your last thoughts be thoughts of peace. And let prayer be the song that carries you into a new day filled with grace, power, and unshakable hope. Close your eyes and rest easy because you are protected. You are chosen, you are loved. And as you sleep, remember this truth: heaven never sleeps. Your future is already in motion. Your blessing is already on its way.